Alright, welcome back to the restructuring of Iberia. We always held Granada. Why would we have never held Granada? We just strategically relocated our capital over to Agadir, all part of the plan. Yes, in the last stream, we really gave it back to Iberia and then some after they decided to come together as Portugal, Castile, Aragon, Naples, and even with God on their side, decided to kick us off of our beloved land. We didn't go down without a fight though. So many Portuguese died. And that stuck with us. The key to success is always to annihilate the Portuguese. That's why we disemboweled them, we took their capital, we took their only other fort on the mainland as well, and demolished the fort right in front of them, leaving them bare open in front of us. We have a truce with them that's only going to last for another 8 years. And they have no friends. They have annulled treaties until beyond our truce. So a big part of the plan here is to annihilate Portugal off of the mainland. I don't think many or any Europeans are going to be particularly chuffed with that. Even France is inside coalition zone, but we strategically improved relations with them ahead of time, and I'm going to stay on top of that because a France in a coalition against me is a terrifying prospect. I've also realized that I did not tell my music to, what's it called? Shuffle, that's it. There we go. So, what's the situation now? Well, we were laughing our socks off because our good friends Castile managed to go bankrupt last time. So, they're not doing too well, man. Their nobility's unhappy as well. That just tickles me right. Aragon is really cheesed off with them, and they want to be no longer under Castilian yoke. And even Naples is not too chuffed right now. Their only friend is the Papal State, and they have finally decided to fall out with France. Great news for me. So yeah, I think Castile's going to crash and burn for a little while. I'm also giving them back, these Castilian noble rebels that we were fostering here in Iberia. Our friendship with Tunis continues to stay strong. In fact, it could well be even stronger. I'm going to boost that trust higher. I'd like to get it all the way up to 80, but I'm going to hold off on that until I have enough favors to boost it and still keep 10 for if I need them in a war. So the situation up here, fantabulous. And anybody that would want to coalition us is truced to hell and back for now. Does that include the Papal State? Well, they don't have enough AE. They are distant enough from us, so that's okay. Any plans on freeing Navarra? Now, sadly, Navarra does not have a core on Vizcaya, but I wonder if I take it, perhaps we could incite the Basque to revolt. They'd get a core there, and then we could release it as a beautiful vassal, perhaps. I want to have and foster and even grow the Basque culture, because it's the only other culture around here that isn't truly disgusting to me. So yes, Andalusian and Basque shall dominate. I got nothing too harsh against the Berbers and the Moroccans. Algerians have to go, though. They just gotta go. So our attention up north is going to be waning for a little bit. I'm probably going to need this guy back from France. Relations are fine enough as they are. I need to get some claims on Portugal, and I also need to start dealing with Africans. We might be pretty low on manpower, but we have business down south. Business we got to attend to pretty lickety-spit. Morocco needs to die. Morocco needs to die a death. They've been around too long. They've served me great, but they truly have got to go. I'm worried about that claim. It's going to go away pretty quickly. And if I leave Timbuktu where they are... The Timbuktu is allied to Morocco. I never did break that up, or if I did, they got it back. I want to beat up Timbuktu, but I don't want to take anything from them. I'm not looking to expand my borders here outside of grabbing Yoma and Dio later on. So what can I do at this point? Well, firstly, I can try working on my relations down in Africa. So I'll change some trade policy going on there. The provinces here that I took from Portugal are bound to revolt. I'd rather not deal with that. So in an extremely rare case, I'm going to hand it over to the Dhimmi. The Dhimmi have some amazing bonuses that I never really take advantage of because I don't give them, well, anything. I just punch money out of them if I'm ever able to. It allows me to extract maximum tax around here, and since I really don't want to deal with any revolts, I'm just going to give them the autonomy, I think. It's a shame because this lets me get the institutions, but it's already here, so what do I care? Let's just punch it up some more, and we still make decent money out of it. The natural harbor stuff's a bit of a pain, but what you gonna do? There's these two provinces. We'll deal with them in due time. I also think I missed this last stream, but look at this. Why is this mission complete? Since the glory days, pinnacle of artisanal construction. Okay, but what do you want? Well, I never did build that mosque in Granada, but it seems that the Castilians came in and built a workshop and a church that we decided to remodel into a mosque. So Granada's worth even more to us now. They stayed Andalusian and Sunni, because they knew that the masters would be back. Watching this really reminds me of how much I love the game, says Inquisitor number 5. Playing this really reminds me how much I love this game. Gonna keep this fort going and this fort. Well, I'm not sure I care that much about this fort. No one's really gonna jump on me there. And I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with these other guys. I need Morocco deed. So maybe rather than shipping my troops over, I shall march down into Timbuktu. That stops me from getting all of this. I'm pretty sure this fort can hold out for a good while. So, he's probably going to take my gold if this goes down. Well, it doesn't matter all that much. Let's get our units into position in Tafilat, which is where they're likely going to do the damage, and crush Morocco, because I don't have that claim for much longer. Now, Jolof is still mad. I'll probably make them a march because I have no intention of integrating them, and it would be kind of cool to keep them around. Their ideas suck. In fact, everything about Jolof sucks. But I have a soft spot for them because I played as them in a multiplayer once, and that's good enough reason for anything. The Papal States have crossed me too many times, but I'm still not willing to make them a rival because I have no long-term plans for Italy other than stomping it down whenever I need to. Is there anything else outstanding? I'm not going to attack, and I'm not going to embrace the institution. Attacking would be expensive, the institution would take all of my money, and I'd rather be a bit flexible with that. Other than that, yeah, manpower is gouged, but not much we can do there. We'll take the shining jewel. We're doing really well on our missions, truth be told. Faith in the throne might be a bit difficult. Air claim stronger than 100. Is such a thing even possible? I think 100 works there as well, but we're not too good with claim strength. That said, Elkhorn, they were around to lose the mainland and also to reclaim it and then some. So I think Elkhorn, despite their diplomatic shortcomings and their military mediocrity, they've proven themselves. They've also helped out with that tech cost for the longest time. But enough blethering, let's actually get going. There are things I wish to do, and it involves finishing off Morocco. Let's designate you as a march. Wow, they're only 6% of my development, so they will get all those bonuses. And finally, are happy enough with being my subject, at least for a little while. I laugh at Castile as they enjoy more of those rebels, and we carry on our merry, very merry way. Oh, that's right. These troops were still around. I'd forgotten all about them. Alright, so I still have the opportunity to give our friends in Timbuktu a pretty bad time. That said, though, it might be harsh in a few ways. There are risks, because Timbuktu might come and ruin your day, so I want you to stand somewhere at least reasonably defensive. Like Bur. Make it so. Diplomats are free now, and I don't see a good reason not to just immediately jump on Morocco, except for the fact that I need to start getting claims on Portugal. See, I really want these three provinces. Well, specifically I want Porto, because it's an incredible province, birthplace of an institution, and massive on trade. And I guess I kind of want Algarve, but I should just claim the coastline here as much as possible. It's the humane thing to do. Besides, the sooner we remove Portugal from the map, the less likely they are to invent Brazil, even on our random new ocean. Okay, we're pretty much in position. I'm going to let a month pass so we can get some manpower and some morale and just basically be prepared to kick some arse. Now, Timbuktu, I could bring in the Tunisians, but I see absolutely no use in doing so. I might want them with other conflicts down here. Would they join me against Mali? Not quite, because it's way too far away from all these people to care about. Still though, Morocco have to go. There's no point making Timbuktu a co-belligerent, because they would involve other people that would never hope to defeat me, but they'd still cause a bit of trouble for me. Jake would be the epitome of a tough but good teacher. Yeah, I'm a modern-day Rome. So let's just gun them down. There is pretty much nothing they can offer by way of resistance, which is cruel but true. And didn't I have a cannon? Well, what's it doing over here? Bit of a shame. I would have wanted it to help out with this siege, but I guess that's what Sad Ibn Qasim is for. Elkhorn perhaps not so much. I don't want them that dead. Now there's 4,000 people there in Saura. I'm going to do something that I don't tend to do. Well, back in the day I used to do it quite a bit, but when I engage like this, I see that they have 4,000. The optimum way for me to attack him and deal the most damage is to send in 4,000 of my own foot troops and 4,000 cavalry. That way I have 4k cavalry on the flanks. It really is inconsequential for a fight like this, but I figure it couldn't hurt to show it off a bit. Just to show what I mean, Timbuktu are of course getting involved. We're marching in. These guys don't stand a chance. But here's what I mean. The game lines up infantry against the enemy and then puts cavalry on the flanks. So with this I have 4 cavalry on the sides, and we don't have anybody extra taking up space. I'm probably going to lose combined arms bonus. Actually no, I won't, because I'm good old Sunni, which helps out with that if I remember well. So even though he rolled a 9 against my 1 in shock, we still just crush him and away he goes. No harm, no fuss. And I'm just going to leave behind a rudimentary siege force. I got that the wrong way around because I want my my general to be doing that. And then the rest of us can focus on... I really don't want to go through Toat. So we could just hold the fort here. I get a feeling for the amount of Timbuktus that there are, and I'm just going to go on the offensive against them because there are so few of them. I still don't want Elkhorn to lead the charge here. He's a bit fragile, don't you know? Perhaps the Emirs, if we told them to go on a diet, and they want a bit more. I guess I haven't been giving the Emirs much in the way of land, so I can indulge them a bit, I suppose. I mean, I got this sweet land back, but it's not that high on... Well, Granada's pretty high, but I'm more concerned about high autonomy that I... Okay, here we go. Myria is a bit of a crubbish province, so I got no problem handing that out. Anything else that's worth giving to... Yeah, well, here's a pretty awful province, and anything to just give them a bit more... Man, I am pretty loaded on crummy provinces, haven't I? Haven't I just? We'll just give them a couple of provinces that I don't care that much about, and keep on going. Because yeah, I would like to have some good generalship. We have a good chunk of army tradition ourselves. I could buy one, but I like my mill points a lot. So yes, Amirs, help us out there with that. Ooh, could get a conquistador instead. I quite like the sound of that. He's just as good as well, and the Emirs don't drown in influence this way. Could bulk it up even more, but I'll just take the 100 mil power because I'm not a greedy person, right? I've seen better, but I've also seen worse. We'll have Elkhorn defend the north here, and we'll have our new friend Samir take the south. And everything works out. Austria's going to war with Alsace. Could this mean anything? I don't see any big names involved there other than Venice, and Venice's wings were clipped quite some time ago. So Morocco should go down pretty quick, but I want to piece out Timbuktu in a way that gives me a fairly chunky truce timer. I already have my claims on Mali, and these claims are going to last 30 and 32, so plenty of time to act on those. I need to think if there's anything else I want my diplomats on at the moment. Shouldn't the game auto-balance your troops, Jake? Could you elaborate, please, on auto-balance? To me, it means when one team is far better than the other, and it strips control away from that. I feel like my troops are being useless and lazy. My diplomats are being useless and lazy here. I shall improve relations with France, because not having that is one of the more terrifying prospects right now. we shall also learn about what's out there. Aragon went to war with Castile for independence! Papal states decided not to. Okay, this is big news. It's also potentially terrifying news. Aragon are going it alone. They will win this war because Castile is bankrupt. Castile has no way of going against this. But as we can see, Aragon did not want nor need any support in this. How about Naples, though? Naples still don't want to be Castile's subject, and that's going to not get any better at the conclusion of this war. So, Lexto says, keep up the great content. Could you show the new world you revealed thus far? Yeah, the random new ocean is really cutting edge. We found a few scraps of land down here. It's all garbage. Not a single province is higher than 5 development. It's all scorched red there. We grabbed the only province we could reach, and once we have it, we're just going to explore further as best we can. Speaking of things out there in the high seas, I would like a bit more of a navy. I'm going to bring my fleet capacity up to 12, and I'm going to get a few more barks because I want to be able to trade, and barks are pretty good for a whole lot of things. And I've already set my naval doctrine, so no pressures there. Obviously, the larger the navy you have, the more expensive it is to set your doctrines. And somebody's asking for a religious map. Not just anybody, it's holding my groin. Religious map hasn't changed that excessively. I'm pretty happy that Joma that I really want is Sunni, but it starts Sunni, and only half of my provinces were converted. Now, one of the things that we changed in the game not too long ago was making the AI, making conversions cost a variable amount of money. And I'm pretty satisfied with it because lands that you don't have a lot of control over, as in they have high autonomy, and especially if they have high development, are an investment to try to convert. The conversion game has been, in my view, too arcade for too long. Of course, some people are pretty upset with that, and I understand why, but sometimes you gotta stick to your visions. Even when vision has not been my strong point for many years, but now they're surgically enhanced. Nobody can stop them. Recht, we're making decent progress with you. Long may it continue. I think Timbuktu are cowering in fear, like they couldn't possibly... Oh, hello. That's not a battle I'm winning. He's got me flanked with 2 bits of cavalry. He brought a 5-shock general. It's not even worth me reinforcing defeat there. Yeah, I knew it. They were just going to get ravaged. He'll probably try to take his land back. I will just kill him like Jack Frost would. That said, I have Tech 9. He's got Tech 8, so he's not something to sniff at, but still. I could, would, and should defeat him. Yoloth, thankfully, had good tech as well. But since I know that he is there, and that's his, well, pretty much his entire army, and Toat only has 3,000 to offer, I should send down a reasonable expedition force by land, and another one by sea, and just absolutely cane this mad lad, because I don't like his existence. I'm going to continue to privateer Sevilla because I was the victor and I get to do that. Remember, my goal here is not to destroy Timbuktu here. I want to have a long truce with him so he's not going to join any coalitions anytime soon, especially since I'm going to punch a whole lot of development out of Mali. Oh man, quite a few questions coming in here about conversion cost. Are you satisfied with the state flashing being encouraged to combat conversion cost? In the same vein, are you satisfied with giving land to the Ulema to sometimes increasing conversion cost? I mean, sometimes it'll do it because it'll boost the what am I trying to say? It'll boost the autonomy. I wasn't aware of state flashing being any kind of issue there. But then, these kinds of things can pop up despite best intentions, right? Who do I even have here again? It's... what? We've got Sad Man there. Right, get over there then. Try to take them from a north. And since we're not doing much else here, we'll just try to explore a bit of land. And I feel like I'm missing a boat here. Did I sacrifice or otherwise lose a cog? I must have. Alright, well, so long to you. The rest of you, however, get on that boat and go and kick some Timbuktu arse. Would it be possible to have cavalry consistently move to flank the enemy in a battle instead of just standing at the sidelines and to kill the units that they can reach? Anything is possible. Okay, that's a super unsatisfactory answer, isn't it? I prefer not to go too much into what we could or want to do with game development on my own personal streams, but I will tell you that yes, we know that the combat interface in the game is far from perfect, and while there's plenty we want to do, we have to consider if it's worth doing. Touching on combat code is no small task for this game. What we have is very functional, even if it's not particularly clear, so we have to measure up, you know, is the payoff from working that worth the investment there? Some might say absolutely, but others who don't particularly care would say, no, why? I'd rather have some cooler features or polish or quality of life stuff put in. That's probably not an answer that's going to satisfy anyone, to be honest, but I'm not here to give satisfactory game development answers. I think that's all we need to mothball right now. Do I have any policies still going? Yeah, I don't think we need to have defensiveness edict here for now, and that's the only one we had still going. Man, quality of life stuff for the big European expansion. Can't wait. Where is he off to? Right, he's going to Tagant. I should try to make sure that he doesn't slip away from me. He might go up to Termes, knowing that the threat is on its way. Hopefully he does, because that's going to let me... Yes! Termes is nothing special, it's just steppe land, and good lord, Twat takes ages to get through. I got no conversions that I particularly worry about, because we're surprisingly tolerant of all these folk, so let's just kill and keep moving. Holy moly. To be honest, I don't agree with conversion cost at all, though the AI... Yeah, the AI is one issue with it. They should be better at it, especially when they have the resources to do so. But that's not really a debate that I want to get into on my own personal streams here. Whether you agree with it or not, hopefully you can respect that. Right, Elkhorn, I want him dead, but I don't want him dead in battle, because that would end up rather costly, so we'll have Mr. Sad take care of the battles here. Wipe out the Timbuktu army, and then... Yeah, we're still probably a good way from getting any kind of peace deal, but I want a sizable one, and I want to break them up with Katsina and Stronghai. There we go. They don't stand a ghost of a chance despite their 5 shock. They're all dead. And what I will do is I'll actually get my mercs to consolidate up, because I don't particularly want to overspend on them. Get one of them and just... Actually, I would like you just gone, since you're going to cost me dosh. And the other ones, please take these lands. And then the rest of us, we march. That's probably not quite a 10 to 1, is it? Oh, it will be if we arrive at the same time. Otherwise, hey, we made it here. The attrition is truly horrible. We'll give what we can, and then... oh, that's right, there's only one province to penetrate through here. Oh, well. Can you rival Genoa? No. My rival options are England, Tunis, and the Pope. Sid says that he's here for the occasional Scots-English with "they're all deed." Yeah, well, having my folks over here did make me slip back into old ways of talking for quite a bit. Fort maintenance reduction, fort defense increase, give it to me all. I also really would like this bacon of learning. And, you know, I should probably consider if it's worth my time making institutions spread a bit faster around here. Because I would like it a lot. It would vastly reduce some costs. Garb in particular. The sooner Garb gets it, the sooner it flows down here. Ah, but it's almost done anyway. Well, it couldn't hurt. It's a fairly beefy advancement here. So let's get some institution spreading. And I'm just getting rid of you. And Timbuktu, I don't have tons of war score with them because battles don't count since they're not the war leader. Still, they're going to go down, and I always get the heebie-jeebies when I see this. Because 9 times out of 10, or at least that's how it feels, it's my enemy hiring units against me. Litauen is very dead, right? They've just been in permanent bankruptcy, occupation and such because local noble.jpg, as they say. Okay, I can get my first of many claims on Portugal, and it's going to be on Porto. That's the most important province to take from Portugal above all others, and the rest just kind of grow from there. And another one bites the dust, another one down, and another one down. I really don't want to have to occupy their capital to get everything I want out of Timbuktu, but I may well have to. I can only have one more state. This is a tempting one to take because it's really good land. I mean, really good land. I don't care if I even have to bump up autonomy and all that. That's not really a necessity. I got this fort here. But I'm not going to need any more areas or states down here. This Porto is certainly what I want, though. Porto is worth so much. However, I'm going to take all this eventually. I'll just... boom, there we go. Fewer decisions, more taking of land. We'll just core it all up. And I don't think I want to have to deal with revolts here anyway. So we'll just bump up that. And the question is... would I rather have super trade or super cash? I think we'll give the merchant guilds Isbilia. It just makes a lot of sense. Oh, right. Merchant guild influence has been a problem in my backside for some time, hasn't it? Does anyone remember if you can expel minorities when the Dhimmi are present? I cannot remember. I mean, it would make sense, but don't trust sense, right? I don't know. I'll hopefully get an answer to that and then make a call. And yes, I do forget how some mechanics work. My memory is far from infallible. Right, can't be having this. No more units for you. I do not speak Swedish, God no. I don't like the language and I've spent no time trying to learn it. Typical Brit right here. Now, since the truce with Mali is up, I think the natural progression from this war is for me to go and kick their teeth in. So if none of my other units are doing anything, we'll get them into position for this. Sadly, 10 to 1 isn't always enough. Sometimes you need a bit more. I would like to not actually take Timbuktu here. The attrition is a bit ghastly. So let's just take a step back. I don't want to get smacked. And as long as I unveil the Terra Incognita way through here, it should all be good. Do you plan to take something from Tim? He looks ready to be pieced out. No. He's a non-co-belligerent. It would be very expensive. Oh man, Portugal have the gall to claim Gibraltar? I thought I made it pretty clear that they are getting nothing. There we go. Should be able to occupy everything that's not their capital. And with no army and growing war exhaustion, this should be enough to make them nay want to be at war with me. Super Ninja Pilot says, oh damn, did I miss much? No, we've only been live for half an hour, during which it's just been clean up. And, well, I suppose our good friend Aragon going to war with Castile is big news. I'm certainly thrilled about it, although it is dangerous. Independent Aragon means independent decisions by Aragon. So we need to sound the independent thought alarm. There we go. He doesn't have much to say against me. However, my war score isn't very high because his capital and this fort are in the same place. The question is if it's worth the manpower investment to siege it down, and if a bit of mercs do the heavy lifting. Oh, especially my good friend Yolof doing heavy lifting. I would say yes. We'll get these folks in, and these folks out. It's going to take a while to do. I'm pretty sure I can get these folks in position soon enough. Mali means war with Kong and Katsina, but as long as they don't have Tech 9 between them, which they do not. Wait, I don't even know anything about Katsina. Oh well. Wow, Total Recall's doing pretty good here. I mean, they have one of the hardest positions here, if not the hardest. Subject of Congo and with this one province, but they have dominated. They've got the best position down there. Fully amazed, impressed, and all the other nice sounding words there. So we'll get you folks down here so you're ready to strike. Poor Morocco is probably not feeling too great, but at least I got a cannon and a bit of siege on Timbuktu, so that should speed it up a touch. And with these mercs I can exchange out some non-mercs because drinking attrition that I'd rather was not drank. Is anyone else colonizing the pathetic Americas? Well, Portugal at least discovered it, we know that, otherwise they would not have gotten the colonization institution. Wait, religious turmoil for Hungary? Well, I guess they have Orthodox and all that stuff. Wow, Protestantism surging through Italy? We're an upside down land here. I mean, I'm thrilled, but it's bizarro. With this, I'm gonna get some of my units out of here. If you got a siege going on, let the mercs do the heavy lifting. Ah, right, there's a slight complication in that they don't have a clean route there, but I'll give them a clean route. Killer DJ is on my on the wrong navy here. I should have him helping out with the privateering. Hang on, why am I privateering a node that I'm particularly strong in anyway? Okay, particularly strong, perhaps not. Let's focus on making mad money instead. My favorite kind of money. Allies are just mercenaries that you don't pay, says La Matador. Is the small islands and whole loads of nothing type of random new world? Can't see much in the minimap. I mean, this is the random new world that I have rolled thus far. But we haven't seen the whole lot of it, or the full extent of it, so who's to say? This isn't a particularly long truce. If I score this, I'll have 100%, so I can take what I want. No claims on me. Somebody out there, probably a YouTube scrub, is and should be taking notes on just how often these guys go bankrupt. Wow, Fulo is a lot to kick out. What's that, 57%? Dang, is what I say to that. Let's also bring our esteemed troops down into Africa. I mean, I'm wanting to polish this up while I can, because war with our good friends in Portugal is a mere 6 years away. They still have no friends, and they're not even improving relations with people, but this is the sign for me to get to work on Mali as soon as I can. But since I want a lengthy truce with Timbuktu, and I want all that dosh from them, of course, because dosh means institution, we're prolonging this war a wee bit. I don't see it as big risk, because like I said, we have relative freedom until 23. It's like life, right? Get down into Futa. You two take Bur. And good! I can stop paying for this fort because you were able to lift the lift the devastation in my gold provinces. I did not want devastation in my gold provinces. Castilians wishing to rise up in Cadiz? Cadiz? Who am I to know? But it's no big deal. There's still devastation around there though. Speaking of devastation, let's enjoy a quick look at Lithuania. Such bright red because devastation's pretty much 100% across the board here. And Castile's enjoying a fair bit of Devo themselves. We're looking a lot better for it. In fact, our only real problem here is Maria. We've got, bit of a problem here. I've got prosperity in Tafilalt, which is great for the gold, but it's about to go away. This is where I want prosperity, though. God damn, all that gold, it's so good. Costing me a lot of this, but I shall bring down the old Inflato. And it's good to be king. Oh, it's good to be king. The sacking of Timbuktu. Traditionally, advancing armies have been expected to supply themselves with what they can plunder. And, you know, Timbuktu is a pretty good province. I don't think I want to punish anybody. I would say these are the rules of warfare. Lose 2 production in Timbuktu. Lose prestige? Pah, nonsense. Enemy atrocities. I'm certainly not paying for it, but you are getting distraught there. Feels pretty good to be us. Now we get into position for Mali. I guess I could just get our peace going right now. I want all this dosh. There's nothing else really worth doing. And I want a sizable truce with you because, yeah, I basically want to prolong this truce as much as I can. So I will make these rather extravagant peace deals. You know, I don't really care about their claims on me, and their, well, when I can end their rivalry with no, I want that rivalry. I don't want them helping each other out in the long run. Alright, then that's pretty fair to me. Give stuff to Jolof? No, they're non-co-belligerent, so it would be expensive and give a lot of AE. And really, Jolof doesn't need to grow that much right now. I will feed this to Jolof in time, I believe. It's kind of cool to have this strong African bodyguard down here. Well, I think it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, that's what matters. Morocco, away you go. Your existence has been hilarious. This is terrifying. France is subsidizing Morocco. Now, why would France do that? Now, it's possible that they are friendly with Morocco. They are not. It's possible he's naive. She is naive. No, she's fierce. I think France sees me as a problem. There's very little other reason that they would send money to my enemy. Also, say no to Moroccan cores. Mali, Timbuktu, and Morocco all hate me for it. What a pity. Thanks for joining in the fun, Morocco. Your very existence saved my butt. However, away you go. This devastation is going to hurt everything around here for some time. Garbage province, I'm just going to give it autonomy and ignore it. Tyrannian Stras says, hey Jake, loved your FTL streams. Any plans on doing Into the Breach? Since it's by the same devs. Yeah, they even stole half of the name for Into the Airlock. Yes, it's on my backlog. The thing is, it doesn't appeal to me in a big way, so it's not very high on my priorities list, but I will. All is highly satisfactory thus far. Very tempted to get the institution, but again, there's no big reason for me. Provincial trade power is not a good enough reason at this point. Killing Mali is a good reason. For anything, really, but we're going to make it happen. Kong love me and don't want to join this war against me. Also, their capital is occupied by fetishist zealots. Probably trying to make them fetishist. Well, what can you do? Once our units are in position, I shall strike. Damn, I'm not used to having this much money. Sad Eben has now left the cause. A shame, but we have other sad people. Elkhorn's still super swole, though. You know, why don't we take our chance with a general? Nah, not when we have Samir. Samir will do us good. Now, who leads the charge here? Jenny is kind of the problem here, it being their fort, potentially their only fort. I don't care, capital fort, whoever does. No, this will be the conquest of Yoma, not Do, which I'm going to rename Dio when we take it, because, yeah, I know JoJo is Meme City, but it's really good. Well, we'll just take him down. What's the worst they can do? Is there any point in making any co-belligerents? Well, there is Kong, but I don't really want anything out of Kong. Like I said, this is, other than me pecking away at Timbuktu later on, I don't really have any aspirations to conquer the inners of Africa. It's good land, sure, but this is not a blobbing campaign. This is about eradicating Iberians. The unworthy ones, that is. So no, I don't see any point in... Okay, there's nothing to lose by co-belligerating him, so... Kong, Yoma, let's groove. Mali have a reasonable army, but it's not reasonable enough. We'll bring you guys down here. I am still a bit concerned about the whole manpower situation. I'm tempted to bulk us out with a bit of mercs since we have the dosh. How much dosh we have? Tons of dosh, courtesy of all that gold. So let's merc up just a little bit. Leave behind... What do we do for this? What the hell do we do? I'm gonna leave you folks to do that. You take this. You two get over to Bur. Just barely has the support for you, kind of. The other two join in, but what you gonna do? Subject is tired of war. Yolof is understandably agitated with their 19.8 war exhaustion, but I'm just gonna tell them to fend for themselves. Sucks to be them, but I can peel apart their revolts if it comes to that. You should turn Huta on. It's not a big risk province, but I do agree, better on than off. Let the mercs get involved there, and it's alright, I'll have you guys split a bit, because Bur is okay, but it's not enough. Yolof want to marry, but they're below me. Plus we were able to deal with their liberty desire despite having forced our religion on them. And once they eventually take care of autonomy issues, I will happily spend the money to convert their land. Are you planning on colonizing, Jake? I already am. I have one glorious colony down in Chasisia. That's not how it's said, but it's what I rolled with. Once Yoma is down, we'll start getting ticking war score, and I honestly don't think that these jokers are going to be able to offer much in the way of, well, anything really. The mercs complement the cannons quite well. We still make good money, but why make good money when you can make great money? Hope they don't go north and take care of some of this, but there's no reason to believe any of them would have access. That said, it would burn pretty hard if they just strolled in and took one of these forts. I'm sure I'd see it coming. Toat takes forever to march through. Here we go. I need some global settler increase. I desperately need some dip tech, no question about that, but my colonies grow so abusively slowly right now that it's nice to get a bit of extra going there. Look at that, it's 50, and that's even with repression policy and New World companies. The base is tiny, and my dip tech is garbo. If you're going to name it Todo Dio, then you should name Yoma Yo-Yo as well. I agree. We'll make that so. Just lost my my scholar bonus, I think, if I was reading that correctly. There's a good chance I wasn't, but I think that's what it said. However, what I do have is the ability to make another claim on Portugal. Coimbra is tempting, but Algarve is super tempting, because it's a nice bridge between it all. And this is already in my area. I mean, I do just truly want to disembowel Portugal. Yeah, well, I mean, I want to claim it all, so let's just get going with it. It's good to have options there, because I might find that what I try to do builds abusive levels of aggressive expansion. We've made France as friendly as can be. Worth remembering that Aragon hate our guts. We're not going to be able to change that anytime soon. Pope Boy does as well. France was really the best bet for making people like us. Guess I could do the same to England, stop them rivaling us. England's usually, you know, the big joke. Oh no, what's England going to do? Fail to navally invade me? But I'm a bit spread out and my navy is weak. It's all focused on transport and trade. So I got no galleys, I got no heavies. I don't want to be on England's bad side for now. What's this? Fulanis wish to rise up. I can't be having that. Where and why and how? Cantor, Futa, Bambuk. I mean, they're all around Futa, so I could just be ready for them. That said, Yoma is down, and I don't want to delay this war, so let's push on to Jenny. A great song by... crumbs. Flight of the Accordions, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about. Flight of the Concords, surely. Why not spend some of that dosh on buildings? I will, but I'm focusing on warfare right now, because it feels good to crush my enemies. The Worldly Ulema, well, I know what that sounds like. That sounds like more money. I'm not even going to read, I'm just going to eat that -2 corruption and enjoy. I'm incredibly tight-fisted in all games and really walks of life as well. People do ask me, you know, how do you have so much money? That came up earlier in this campaign. How do you have so much money? It's because I'm very tight-fisted. I don't see that necessarily as a bad thing either. It's just how I run. It's a bit risky marching into Kong, especially since all those fetishists are about, so let's hold off on that for a little bit. We're getting our claims. I don't even need to finish off the other guys. As long as I can make my peace with these fellows, it's all good. But if I wanted to take Yoma and Dio, I can tell straight away that that is 20, 30, 40% war score. I'm going to need a little bit more. If I take Jenny, I think we're going to be good. Statesman's Steed. Advisors are worth spending money on if you have it, though, that's for sure. Oh, crappy ones like this, though. I'm going to try my luck with someone that isn't you. Hmm. 270's around, amazing. And they said they haven't caught a Jake stream in a while. No kidding. How have you been? Somebody mentioned punching the merchant guilds, and I do like to punch the merchant guilds, but I cheesed them off big time because I made a little accident. Damn, those fetish zealots have ruined your country. Let's screw England for a while. Not in the sense you might think, and see if we can't make peace with these folks. Well, they could break their country. Revolts are pretty bad for them, but it's not bad enough for them to want to peace out, it seems. I think give them a little bit longer. Revolts, occupied, besieged. Yeah, they still have good military strength, so they're not wanting out just yet. But once Jenny is gone, this war is over. And then we... No, that's not allowed to happen. France, Castile, you are meant to hate each other so much. Okay, France still hates them, but I want that hate to be a bit more formalized. Castile and France allying is worst nightmare of my life. Also, why is Aragon not winning this? I mean, sure they're winning, but that's mostly from... Oh, Napoli. Oh, Christ, they focused on Naples. I'm in pain from the... Oh, whoa, that was not allowed to happen. This is exactly why I was thinking of paying for these forts, but decided against it. Well, that is a shame for me, especially since you're on your way to Fez next month. So they might actually get a touch of war score out of this. I said I'd keep my eye on it, I didn't, and now I'm paying for it because he's even spreading out there. Well, that is a shame for me. Also, got the person I want there. Yeah, they just flipped war score pretty heavily there. And that's Katsina. There's Katsina. I got bamboozled by Kong. Yeah, the whole lot of them decided to slip up there. Crafty, clever buggers. Okay, well, two can play at that game. Let's go and besiege Kong's capital and kick them out of this war. Yeah, I don't want them taking my capital. That would be grim and a half. It's not quite enough, but a little bit more, and I think this guy would be done and done right. This might be sacrificing one of my units to fetch the zealots, but that's okay. When you can thrash Castile and Portugal, but get outplayed by Mali. It's alright, it adds a bit of an interesting twist to the campaign, but holy moly, should have never taught the AI how to carpet siege. I knew we'd pay for this. At least I know more about Kong these days. There we go. And with that, Kong will peace out. And they'll peace out in all the right ways if they give me a bit of dosh. I like dosh a lot, so give it to me, please. Well, you know, I could ask for war reparations instead of all this dosh. Since they have a gold province, that's probably worth a bit more to me. So there we go. They get kicked out. You're still in on this. Well, what can you do? Just be gone. And then it's a question of if I can peace out Mali now. Their capital's gone, but that might not be enough for them to want to peace out because the war hasn't been going on particularly long. There we go. They were eradicated, but I think they were regular troops, so I got a touch of that. Wait, oh. Well, that works as well. They couldn't be converted. I think only